Okay, it being 6:30, I'm going to call the meeting of the Twinsburg Board of Building and Zoning Code Appeals in order. All of those who are going to give testimony or speak tonight, would you please raise your right hands? Does the testimony or statements you make, they are going to be under oath, and so help you God? Thank you. First matter is our roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Griffith?
Here.
Mr. Jameson? Mr. Wilner?
Here.
Mr. Kanzler?
Here.
And Mayor Scafidi?
Here.
Shall we rise and...
Mr. Jameson's here.
Oh, Mr. Janice is here. Thank you. Good. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like a motion to move from the work session to the regular meeting.
I'll make a motion that we move from the work session right into the regular meeting.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Griffith?
Yes.
Mr. Jameson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilner?
Yes.
And Mr. Kanzler?
Yes. I'll also move to have item 2, variance requested at 1813 Westwood Drive, moved to number 1 on the agenda.
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Jameson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilner?
Yes.
Mr. Kanzler?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
And Mr. Griffith?
Yes.
Is there someone here to talk about 1813 Westwood Drive variance? Yes. If you could and identify yourself by name and address,
Sure. My name is Daniel Coppers. I live at 1813 Westwood Drive.
and what is the nature of your request, please?
I want to build a storage shed so I can store my, lawnmowers and stuff like that. I want to build a 12 by 16, which would give me 192 square feet, and I believe I'm allowed 160 square feet. Therefore, I need a variance of 32 square feet.
About 4 foot by 8 foot? Or how would that dimension?
2 by 16, basically.
2 by 16, okay.
It's my
Any
math.
questions? Do I have a motion to approve the variance as requested?
Make a motion that we approve variance 05-2022.
Have a second?
Second.
No, this is the,
That's the Westwood. No, this is Westwood right here.
okay.
32 square foot.
Yeah. Do we have the roll call?
No, we have not.
Roll call vote, please. In favor?
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Griffith?
Yes.
Mr. Jameson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilner?
Yes.
And Mr. Kanzler?
Yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Your variance has
Appreciate
been
it.
granted. The next item is the variance request at 8867 Maryville Drive. Is there someone here to speak for that? And would you identify yourself by name and address, sir?
Yes, sir. My name is Sanders Williams. I live at 8867 Maryville.
And can you describe the reason why you're requesting a variance of, I believe, for the private garage?
Well, it's actually an add-on, but it's going to have a big door, I guess. But I have a lot of tools and have a huge lawnmower.
Do you have
Trying to
that
store
red
it.
truck? Is that yours?
Excuse me?
The red truck?
No, sir. I have a black truck.
Black truck? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other reasons that you have for the variance?
No, sir. Just trying to stay within the guidelines as far, as much as I can. My property is odd shape. It's shaped like a piece of pie,
Yeah, that subdivision
and it's
is-
just really difficult to, make changes and upgrades on my property.
Do we have any questions?
Yes, I do. Sir, in the packet, there was a letter that you stated it granted you from the homeowners association approval to do this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when was that? I think it was dated this 22nd of July?
Something like that. It was back in the summer. I'm not sure of the exact date.
And are you aware of the fact that they only gave you 60 days
Well,
to enact that?
sir, I've been trying for since they approved it, but I had to, follow the rules, and this is where I am.
You're saying but for having to come here for a variance, you would have done that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. The,
Go ahead.
in the packet also, they're dated on May 17th of this year. The homeowners association denied the request.
Right.
Did they give you a basis for their
Well,
denial?
the basis was the concrete was too wide. So I was trying originally to get 9 feet wide concrete, and they would only approve 7 feet. So I scaled it down to 7 feet.
And then, and the way it's drawn now, I mean, you're pretty close to the property line.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, my concrete as it stands right now, it's about 40 inches from my property line right now. And I was just trying to extend that same 40 inches until I could get to the 5-foot mark and then be 5 feet away from the property line.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. Yeah, there are two, there's another letter, I know it's in here, denying, there's 2 denials from the homeowners association and 1 approval.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
if you could, let me see it, maybe I could
I believe
address
those are
that.
2 objections. we
2
received.
objections? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 2
I stand
objections.
corrected.
Denial is from May, and then 2 objections from
Okay, my mistake.
neighbors.
All right.
The ordinance requires what you have to be within an enclosed structure. And
Yes,
you're
sir, it's going to
asking-
be attached to the house.
You're going to enclose this vehicle within,
No, sir, that's not for a vehicle. It's for, I have a Skag lawnmower, riding zero-turn lawnmower.
getting confused on something?
Yeah, here it is. He-
So,
Essentially, what he wants to do is attach this to the garage and store equipment in here, moving, and there's where the variance problem is, all along here. He's only going to, he's going to be right on the line.
Well, we can't
Yeah.
close out a side yard.
No. Can't close that out.
Now,
Yes.
We identified 3 variances required as part of his request for the construction.
Right there.
The first one is 114404B1, to allow private garage attached to or located in a one-family dwelling. The variance required for additional private garage attached to the dwelling with an existing attached garage that's there. This is part of the approval of that subdivision for the R5 district, as what was on there. The second one was 114407, vehicular access. All driveways in that district,
16.
dwelling units in a cluster area shall have a minimum of width of 16 feet. The variance required is 9 feet to allow proposed 7-foot driveway. And then the third one is from section 1143.09, the driveway setbacks required to be at a minimum of 5 feet from the property line, and a 5-foot side yard was established as part of the Planning Commission approval, and the master site plan was also established on the topo site plan approved for this specific lot. The variance required for 1 foot 10 inches, or 10 and 5/16 inches, to allow the driveway to be located 3 feet, 1 foot and 11/16 inches from the property is shown.
Yeah, and that's where I'm struggling with it. So, did you know that there was 3 variances first that you needed to get through, or were you just thinking there was the one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the issue is the Planning Commission. This is what year were your house built? These were
Last year.
last year. So the Planning Commission saw all these and made recommendations to build these lots, and they worked really hard on this. So for me, I can't approve this variance based off of all of that. You need 3 different variances that are required. You're going to be within, man, like even, just from the property line, you're 2 feet from the property line. But these houses are close as is. You're talking, you're going to be 5 to 6 feet from these people's living room. I don't know some of your
Well,
neighbors.
sir,
Like,
see, my property is shaped
Yeah.
like a piece of
I
pie.
understand
So
that.
I understand.
the
Even
further
your-
I go back, the wider my
you
property
get, but
gets.
even yeah, like it's just so tough for me that and I've been against these lots from the beginning. I have a pie-shaped lot myself. I run into this constantly. Mine's actually the opposite of what yours is. Mine's big in the front, pies to the back. And it's tough for me because the way that this was set up by Planning Commission, which we don't have any authority over or anything like that, they've designed these lots to make sure that you can't do any improvements to your house. And, that's something that we have voiced, I think, our frustrations with since, I've been on this, I think, 5-6 years. Like, these have to stop getting through because we are putting your neighbors, I think this would be detrimental to your neighbor on that side because you're so close to them. And to me,
Sir, there's over 20 feet between our houses. Once we get in the
That's
back.
not 20 feet.
I don't think it's 20 feet from house to house. Like, and then when you're adding
Well,
an
the
addition,
structure that I'm building is 20 feet.
yeah,
That's 5 feet from my property line.
property line, yeah, but
Then from that point to her house is at least 20
20
feet.
feet, yeah, it's going to be close to that. I would like to see those measurements again then, I guess. But, you're already encroaching on their driveway with the driveway spaces. I can't see, like, how this, in your letter, you stated that this would increase their house value by doing this. I don't see how that increases their house value. I actually think it decreases their house value by getting closer to that property line. And that's where I stand. I can't speak for the rest of these guys, but that's where I stand is, like, you're encroaching on yes, you're inside your property line, but the Planning Commission designed these lots with the builder and put in these regulations to make sure that, these houses fit into these pie-shaped and fit into these things. And in less than 5 years, then I think this Planning Commission, like, we're going back and would be reversing what Planning Commission worked on and decreasing potentially a neighbor's house value. So I can't see supporting that. So that's.
So
Well,
what
my
about if I
problem-
made the structure smaller, sir? Would that?
It's still, the driveway is still
Yeah.
so close.
Well, it's technically not a driveway.
Yeah, but what would it be?
It's just a path to get to that building. It's a
Yeah.
walkway. It's an area, a way to get to
To drive
Put
your
that
lawnmower
addition.
on to put it away.
my lawnmower.
To
That is
drive?
correct, not a vehicle.
To drive your lawnmower?
My lawnmower,
Would
but
you be
not a
driving it or pushing
vehicle.
it?
I would be driving it, sir.
So, yeah, that's what, yeah.
My problem is that the side yards established by the code are there for a reason, and that is to have open space between 2 structures. And if we start giving a little here and giving a little there, the entire idea of side yards being open for the entire length of the lot is defeated. And that's the reason I'm having trouble considering granting the variance here.
Sir,
Anybody else?
my particular property it's very unique to that neighborhood. No one has as much side yard as I do. No one in that entire property, that entire area. No one has as much side yard as I do.
I would have to part of my reservation is in this case, the unfortunate shape of the property, where the pie wedge becomes smaller in the front. That concrete is going to basically take up your entire, what is the side yard. Allowing, I think on this drawing, I think it's 3 feet grass left.
Well, that's only until I get to the 5-foot mark. As I stated, the further
And
I
it-
go back, the wider it gets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the satellite picture just through Google Maps, and there's not much room there. I mean, you're concrete, and then the ingress and egress of whatever vehicle it is going to be significantly close, frankly, to their living room. It's not even the garage side of their house.
Yeah.
I have to ask, you said it's only a
Well,
lawnmower.
Not close to their living room, sir.
Is there any, what other, for this size, that's a pretty big area for a lawnmower.
I have a massive amount of tools. I have so many tools. I used to live in Solon. I had a 4.5-car garage. I came from a 4.5-car garage to a 2-car garage. So I have a lot of stuff.
I feel your pain with that, I do, but I guess I'm probably gonna have to agree with you in the sense of this side yard is just gonna be too small.
Well, what about if I made the structure smaller?
Again, I think I agree with Chris in the sense of it's the driveway, it's the narrow point in the ingress and egress and whatnot.
Okay. Can I make the concrete smaller?
Well, you need 9 feet is your variance that you're asking for on your concrete, right?
That's only because I guess your rules are that it has to be 16 feet wide, and I'm not asking for 16 feet. But that's because it's labeled as a driveway.
It's always
I
going to
didn't label
be.
it
You
that.
can't sit here and say that you won't drive your truck up to it. I would drive my truck up to it. You're going to drive back your
Well,
truck up to it and unload some tools. I would. Who wouldn't, right?
My truck is huge.
Right. I've saw it out there.
Right now,
Yeah.
there's a box
Yeah.
there for the
Electrical,
I guess it's
right?
electrical box and a cable or a cable type thing. I couldn't get my truck back there.
Yeah.
What if you would just, I'm just going to throw this out there,
Excuse me, I can't.
just do away with the garage that you're planning on now and putting up a shed in the back of your house.
Well, that's where the initial problem came in. That's all I wanted was a shed. But my HOA doesn't allow sheds in that entire area.
That's mine
They
as
don't
well.
allow it.
I literally
Same
have
here.
the same problem, so I
Same here.
see it.
Because
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
those were my intentions. I just wanted to build a little shed, where I can get my stuff in there. So, I'm
I mean, I just put it out there.
oh, yeah, that was the initial feeling. But I'm not able to do that. So I figured I would make an addition. So now, if it wasn't considered a garage, and I didn't have so much concrete, could we revisit this?
That's beyond our
I would say.
scope. That's up to the
You
building.
can't-
put a garage
we can't-
door on it and you just put an addition, I think that would be.
Say it again?
That would
It
be
would-
up
it
to the
wouldn't-
building
Yeah, it would
department.
be. You could potentially put a garage door on it. I don't know, like what that would be. Like, but if you're adding an addition, I guess you would have to go back to your HOA first,
Okay.
figure out what they would allow as an addition, and then be up to the building department on.
Right, we can't allow a second garage
Correct.
on any of those houses.
Yeah.
So it would have to be defined as something different, whether it's a regular addition is one thing, and you would be allowed to go up to 5 feet from the property line with that addition, according to the zoning there.
Okay.
Well, my
As far
problem,
as concrete, again, as
Yeah.
he's saying, if there's a access with hard surface, you'd still have to comply with these other requirements.
If your whole point is to store a lawnmower, to what end would you do that?
I'm not understanding the question.
If the point is to store a lawnmower and tools, and in a couple of months come before us again saying, I need a variance for I mean, I guess if it's not called a garage, maybe you won't need it, but I think, a duck's a duck. I mean, if it's,
I'm not understanding your question, sir.
what else are you gonna do with this extra add-on?
I'm going to store my tools. I'm going to store my lawnmower. I mean, if you come to my house now, my garage is full of stuff.
I sympathize with you, but as you said, the house isn't that old. I mean, you knew what you were getting into.
Well, I built a house in Twinsburg with a 3-car garage. Prior to me getting this house, when I went to do my final inspection, the basement leaked. So I'm not paying $400,000 for a house that the basement leaks.
Yeah.
So I had to walk away from that house, which left me homeless. So now, I was looking for a place to live for my family. I just happened to ride down that street, and there was a open house sign on the yard. My wife and I walked in, and she fell in love with the house, which is why I bought that house. I didn't build that house. So, I was homeless.
So I guess like if you, like it would be, that would I think you would have to talk with the building department and the HOA of what they would allow, I don't know, door specifics, garage door specific sizes.
Well, my problem is simply that the side yard requirements are in the code to keep open space.
Right.
And if we start fiddling with moving into what's intended to be open space between properties, we in effect are legislating rather than acting as a zoning board. And we're not allowed to
Not
legislate.
allowed to do that.
So I empathize and sympathize with the problem here, but I'm not so sure we have the authority to grant this kind of variance into a side yard area. So, having said that, I'm asking for a motion.
Okay, I just have one
Yes,
other
go
thing.
ahead, Tom.
On the back of your house, okay?
Yes, sir.
I assume this is a covered porch back
Yes, sir.
here? And what is there, well, this is something that you might want to talk with the building commissioner, building department about, is bumping that out and not just having a man door as or a larger man door in here for storage. That, and without any concrete, that's a possibility, because then that is just an add-on, and you can
Oh.
use it as storage.
Well, okay.
But,
So I'd like to ask,
yeah,
if I had the add-on that I have with no concrete, would that?
With the garage door.
yeah, you can't have a
I just would
garage.
have
So
to
one of
change
the-
the garage door?
So one of the variances that's attached to that neighborhood is that you're not allowed an additional private garage attached to your dwelling.
I
Yeah.
didn't ask for
Yeah.
a garage. I don't know how that ended up being a garage, but,
Yeah, it's,
okay, if it's just an add-on with no garage door, would I be allowed to do that?
that was something he would have to probably look at.
I would think we would need plans to see what it is you're proposing, because what we have is what you're proposing here, we would need to see it.
Yeah.
And then we would review it then.
And then to avoid the side yard issue, okay? Because truly, you're really encroaching on those other homes, that other house, with the way you have it drawn. But if you blow the back end out, I don't know what is there beside that. Or you attach something to the back end of it, okay, without concrete, you just have storage capability there, then that goes towards the street, that goes towards Chamberlain, and it's not, and you have plenty of room. You're not encroaching on anyone's.
Okay, so,
Then-
Again,
yeah.
that's what you're gonna have
So
to bring up to the building
So
department.
Safeguard Renovation, is he the gentleman that's doing this?
yes, sir, but he's.
So he's the one
sick.
who put garage in your
Yeah,
application. So he typed in
garage.
dolly equipment needed to the new garage.
Yep.
I have a suggestion.
So I can.
Because a lot of good ideas are being discussed here. Rather than having a motion to either grant or deny the variance, I would like to have a motion to table this matter for further action from the building department, if you will report to us what happens after that. I think, if we deny you, then the ball's in your court. Are you going to go to court, or are you going to do this, or are you going to do that? And I'd rather not have that with all the discussion that's been going on as to alternatives, to see if those alternatives can work.
Mayor has a question.
That's fair.
Yes,
I have a question I'd like to ask if I can.
sure.
When, Mr. Brown, when you picked that up and you said he's got that kick out behind the house, is that behind your garage?
No, sir, it's behind the master bedroom. So I have garage, then the master bedroom, and then under that is the basement.
So that, what he showed, because I don't have that in my paperwork.
Yeah, well, what he was talking about is actually right behind my master.
Oh, so
bedroom.
behind the bedroom, it's not behind the garage.
Got it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And where I was trying to build is it's essentially on the side of the master bedroom because, you know, I would have to go back so far to get past that garage in order to have the space to build what I was trying to build. But I was just trying to build an addition. So if it's the thing about not having concrete and, you know, not having a garage door, then, you know,
I think,
I can submit other plans.
Yeah, I think the best would be to come in, talk with the building department, I think, figure out what's allowed, you know, I live in an HOA and same thing, can't
Yeah,
do this.
yeah, yeah.
The HOAs are a little stricter too
Yeah.
than what some.
Well, I got an approval from the HOA.
Yeah.
You know what
Would a building, would an addition directly behind the house?
Right.
That's contained within the size of the house, that doesn't have any concrete leading to it, would that fill your needs?
Well,
That's what
this
we were
is
talking about.
Yeah.
where the problem would come in. Again, so my backyard is like, okay, so like the back edge of the property, it's more like a I don't know, like a diamond shaped kind of thing.
Yeah.
So now, you know, if I try to kick out, then I might have a problem on this corner. Or
Well-
I might have a problem on that corner.
From
But
the back of your
at some
house-
point, I'm still gonna, I mean, unfortunately, there's no way around getting a variance.
From the back of your house to your property line on the one side of the diamond is 67.88 feet. On the other side of the diamond, it's 84.93 feet. You're well within, okay? So if, you know, if you blow it out,
It's 39.
well, I'm
That's-
sorry, 39,
Yes.
but he's well within.
Oh, he's still with it. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Well
it's
within 39 feet, so you've got, even if you pump it out 16 feet, it's still well within the ordinance. But it you know, you have to draw the plans up, talk
Okay,
with the
so now there's
building.
windows. I would have to block those windows in order to go out the back.
Well, that's something that,
I don't think that
the
would be.
design, you know, I can't do the design for you. I'm just trying to.
No, I'm saying, on the back of the house, where you're suggesting that I go out, there are windows
Yeah.
there. So then that'll be a safety issue or something.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I've looked at the
that-
same thing that he's doing, because
Yeah.
that's literally, my house is almost and my master bedroom is right there, like where the windows, I've looked at, could I move the windows to the side?
Yeah.
Which, could you move the windows to where your addition, like, those are things you could, you know, Keith and your builder could, you know, safeguard renovation, I'm sure could help you with, but, yeah, I don't.
It's all the more reason I'm asking for a motion
Yeah.
to table this
What
matter
size-
rather than taking action. That'll give you the opportunity to make decisions that are not subject to anything that we would be doing. So if we table the matter,
Do we wanna
whether
let-
it comes up, huh?
I know they, do you want to let them speak?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they
Did you wish to speak? I'm sorry. Okay.
did, yeah.
Please.
Sit
Just
down, sir.
one quick question for, like, what size doors are going to constitute a garage door? And then if you're saying you want to leave store the lawnmower in there, that's where I'm getting hung up on any
Yeah.
of this future conversation. I don't want to get hopes up for something if the lawnmower is the goal,
That's true.
anything added on is going to be anything added on is going to end up being a garage. So
Yeah, you're right.
like, I feel like you're gonna come, even if you go through the process, and I hate to see you spend the money working with a builder to do this, and then come back before us, and even if it's a small garage door, it's a garage door, and then we end up denying it because of
Well,
that again. and
their HOA would deny it, because it's
Yeah.
in there too, so.
I mean,
know.
I don't know the answer to that, so,
If I could, I think there are a lot of ambiguities to it in that we need to first establish the rear setback. So that would establish how far back you could go. If it was for storage, you probably would have to omit the windows because you probably need to have the separation required from a storage area to the house, unless it's storage like a closet. When you have a garage, it's required to be separated from the dwelling by 3/4 of an hour or with drywall. So you couldn't have a window between there if it's being used for that. So there's multiple, both building code and zoning code applications, and I would think that if you had a drawing we could reference with dimensions, then it would have to be established. I guess as far as a garage door, I'm not really sure how you define that other than whether it's an overhead door, the size, and what its use was going to be. Because you could have barn doors, it could also be a garage door. It's one of those, I guess, interpretations and how it presented itself on the lot.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear from the other lady.
Ma'am, you wish to say something. If you could step back, sir.
Yes. We're the owners of 8871 Maryville, right next door.
Okay.
We are affected directly. And what I'm saying, I'm here because we object to the driveway. There's not enough room. I did submit pictures of my house and his driveway. And as you know, he has those pavers, and they were not approved. And if you look at the pictures of my house and the driveway, you can see I have no space. And right there up front is my bedroom. And, you know, we dealing with snow plows. We dealing with the, what is that they call it on the back? Sheds for the lawnmower, landscaping, and snow plowing. I mean, we are a small community. We have children. I mean, it's just no space for a driveway to come between my house. I put trees there because my bedroom is right there. And I just don't know, I don't think it's fair to the community for us to have this because we're so close. We have one parking space there, and it's in the cul-de-sac. We live right in the curve. So there's no parking nowhere near there. When children are playing, they come into my driveway. So if you have this equipment there, we just don't know what's going to happen. Now, he does have space in the back, but to drive and put one of those things that you carry lawnmowers and things in, I don't see how it can fit between my house. A trailer, yes. So I do oppose this because it's just not fair to my family or me. In the wintertime, when it's snow plowing, they got the pavers, so the snow comes in my yard. The sun is out, everybody's driveway is empty, but mine have snow because the snow is pushed in the little small space yard I have. His driveway cuts across my house. So there's no way I have to keep my blinds closed all the time. So I put the trees, so when they grow up, maybe that will make a difference.
You shouldn't have to go through that. The reason I'm asking to table this matter is so that people have an opportunity to explore other ways of handling the issue.
Okay.
I do not personally believe that side yards should be closed off. And this would, as applied for, this would close off a side yard.
Okay.
They're meant to be open spaces between properties as well as buildings. So what I'm hoping for by tabling this matter is that some ideas can come up that can be satisfactory to everybody and still achieve what the applicant wants to do without interfering with any neighbor's rights.
Thank
So
you.
that's what I'm trying to see happen. So,
I go along with that, long as the driveway doesn't come in
understood,
houses.
understood.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Anything else here?
Go
I
ahead.
have one more question, I guess, for the applicant. There, so she mentioned a trailer, and then in the other letter that was sent in, it referenced commercial equipment.
Right.
So, what's that?
I'm trying to understand the question.
So, what I'm saying is, she mentioned a trailer with lots of different landscaping or snow plowing equipment. Another letter was sent in by a resident saying that the actual use for this, they believed, will be commercial, for storage of commercial equipment.
Well,
What commercial equipment, sir?
I don't know. I'm asking you, is this intended to store commercial equipment
No, sir.
or
It's-
equipment that is
it's-
used for your business?
It's used for my personal tools.
Okay.
okay, I'm just referring to section 117405, J. Parking non-passenger vehicles and/or commercial equipment in a residential district is prohibited.
Yes, sir. I understand that. That's why there's no trailers or no snow plows on my property.
Well, hope it stays that way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we received a letter from
Yeah.
one of your neighbors stating that it would, I am in opposition to permitting my neighbors to use property as they deem fit, but instance provides an exception. It's my understanding that they are requesting an additional driveway garage to made purpose for storing commercial or otherwise large vehicles for commercial activities such as landscaping, snow removal, and other related purposes.
And that's
No, sir.
prohibited in a
I'm going to put my
single-family
tools in
zone.
there.
Yeah.
My personal tools.
And they're not going to be used to plow other snow?
My plow is not on my property, sir.
Okay.
My trailer's not on my property, sir. It's not going to be stored on my property, sir.
Okay. So we shall see what happens, eh? A motion to adjourn?
No, a motion to table.
Motion to table?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to table variance request, which one is this? 04/2022 or 05?
05.
05/2022.
5:22, yeah.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Griffith,
Yes.
Mr. Jameson,
Yes.
Mr. Wilner,
Yes.
and Mr. Kanzler.
Yes. Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Well, we approved minutes from the last meeting.
Sorry.
So I guess, well, we got for him. So I guess from here, you would probably want to work with the building department, talk to Keith and them about
We got
different options that you have. So at this point, we didn't do anything, so there's no movement on this one, so it would just be come up, I think we meet twice a month, or based off of, what we need, so I think it would be up to you to talk with him, then they get back with us about something. It could be you don't need a variance, then you wouldn't see us, you could see, I don't know, a different planning commission, architectural review board, ARB, yeah, some other board that the city has.
Yes, sir.
A group of different people. So yeah, I think that would be your best bet, is to kind of work with him, see where you can go, then go to your HOA, see what you can do from them.
Yes, sir.
Go from there.
That's
This
fair.
is a tight this was, and I will make it known that I was never a fan of how close these houses were in this community. Yeah, these
Yeah,
lots.
you know, if there was just one less house on each side of the street, we would all have
You know,
enough room.
I don't know if I was on I used to be on planning commission, but I don't remember if I was on that one. But yeah,
Yes, sir.
couple less houses would have been
Yes, sir.
a little bit better. So
4 to be exact.
he knows it. So yeah, that's how it.
I think this is the best solution for you.
Yes, sir.
We're not trying to penalize anyone.
I understand.
Okay, we're trying to work with folks, but you've got neighbors that are unhappy. Maybe, working with the building department. Hey, Keith has a lot of solutions to a lot of problems, so maybe
Yes, sir.
we can work that out with your design guy. And you don't even need a driveway, you can, whatever.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, if it's just
And that
the
would
concrete
resolve
that's
the
the
issue.
problem.
As long as that equipment is not used for commercial purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's a no-no.
That is a
It's
no.
right in the ordinance.
So, okay, well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
so much.
And thank you for your patience, all of you here today. Anything else?
Now we have to approve our minutes.
No, they've been
we've already
approved.
done that.
Sorry. Move
I move to adjourn.
second.
Roll call.
Mr. Wilner,
Yes.
Mr. Jameson,
Yes.
Mr. Griffith,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
and Mr. Kanzler.
Yes. The meeting is adjourned.